Scottie Scheffler, the bad boy of golf, no more.
Mm.
No more.
Street cred gone?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. The charges have been dropped by the Louisville Police Department to one Scottie Scheffler. Here is what the Jefferson County attorney, Mike O'Connell, said when the charges were dropped. Based upon the totality of the evidence, my office cannot move forward in the prosecution of the charges filed against Mr. Scheffler. Mr. Scheffler's characterization that this was a big misunderstanding is corroborated by the evidence. The evidence we reviewed supports the conclusion that Detective Brian Gillis was concerned for public safety at the scene when he initiated contact with Mr. Scheffler. However, Mr. Scheffler's actions and the evidence surrounding their exchange during this misunderstanding do not satisfy the elements of any criminal offenses. Boy, who could have seen that coming?
One look at the video. One single grainy look at the video. Yeah. Didn't need the Zapruder film. No. Didn't need to slow it down. No. You knew. And this is without any audio.
Yeah.
One. You knew the cop was an a-hole.
Well, before we even saw the video, there was this idea like, it's Scottie Scheffler. Like, I mean, this police officer, which is a very hard job that they're doing.
I am never going to take away from that. It takes a very, very, very particular person. Look, I was in the military. It's a very particular breed. Life can suck, and sometimes you're an a-hole, and other people deal with it, and that's just the nature of the beast. But
even when we heard it was Scottie Scheffler, it was like, this guy probably was acting kind of like a hardo here. And he was.
Without any of it, though.
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about it? We go, oh, a detective working a crash scene at 5 o'clock in the morning in the rain?
He didn't want to be there.
He didn't want to be there. And you knew the second you heard the police report. He was drugged to the point of ripping his pants beyond repair, which were $80.
$80.
The second you could have never showed me any video, told me not a single person who was involved, and by reading that police report alone, I would go, this cop's full of crap.
Well, we have audio, and I don't think that he is full of crap. I just think that it was a chaotic environment, and he was not clear at all with who he was or what he was doing. And we'll hear this is an exchange between Scottie Scheffler and his arresting officer, not the officer that he apparently dragged to the point of his pants being beyond repair. We have 3 parts of audio that we will stop, and we'll have little interludes.
So I pull in here, the police officer up there told me to come the opposite way with the traffic and then come in. And as I was pulling in, my window was down, and the officer told me to stop, and first of all, I did not know that he was a police officer. I thought he was one of the security guards that was mistaken. And as I was pulling by him, he grabbed my arm.
Stop right there. Why does it matter if he's a security guard or a police officer?
Because
if somebody's telling you to stop.
Yes, you're right. I should have stopped. I did get a little bit impatient because I'm quite late for my tea time. And as he was reaching in the car, he grabbed my shoulder and hit me. Like
trying to get you to stop, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It seemed to be a little bit over aggressive because the entrance was open.
Okay.
And I pulled a little bit because I was afraid. I thought he was going to start hitting me, and I didn't know who he was. He didn't tell me he was a police officer. All I saw was the yellow jacket. I didn't know what he was doing. I listened to the police officer.
Okay, there's part 1.
Telling you right now, you reach into my car. I don't care what vest you have on, how you look. At 5 o'clock in the morning, you reach in my car and you grab me, and I don't know it's your cop. I'm pulling away, and you're getting drugged, pulled, dragged, run over.
Okay.
Especially if I'm the number 1 golfer in the world.
That is also what Jeff Darlington, who was reporting, he had said, what other reporters that were on the scene that were watching it unfold said. And you heard Scheffler, he's like, he was overly aggressive. I didn't know who he was. And the police officer says, what is the difference between him being a police officer and just a security guard? And Scheffler says, you're right, I should have stopped, whatever. But there's a big difference.
There's a distinct difference.
Well, when you go to these big events, and everybody's been to a big event where, whether you're going into a busy parking lot at like a fairgrounds or whatever, right? You have the people in the vests, and when the gates are open, like Scheffler says, the gates were open. I just thought I was going to go through. Usually what those people are doing is they'll even get pretty close to your vehicle. If you go to a large sporting event and you're getting, the traffic people in and out, security working in and out of the parking lot.
Roll.
Yeah, you go by, and then if somebody jumps into your vehicle without announcing who they are, I can see where Scottie Scheffler was like, dude, what is the hell's going on here? I will pull away.
It's also 5 o'clock in the morning. It's pouring rain. It's pitch black. There's lights and sirens everywhere from a freaking accident where somebody has died down the street.
And he had been told exactly what to do before.
Who?
A police officer. Okay. Here's part 2.
So the thing is, he's wearing a uniform. Okay. He also is wearing the same jacket that I have on that says police.
Yes.
Okay. Also, on that, if someone's telling you to stop, no matter who it is, you don't keep going. So what happened is,
no, you don't.
You kept going and you took him with you while he's a pedestrian. Okay.
Yes.
So you took him with your car.
Yes.
And drug him. Okay.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing,
I'm
right?
very aware that was
To make it so, listen to me. So make it even worse. When he asked you to get out of the car, you refused to get out of the car.
I still was not aware he was a police officer. I was actually looking out the window of the car to try to find a police officer. I asked.
We're all right here, and he was there.
Just
me,
the
sir,
arrogance.
We're all wearing yellow vests so you can see us.
If he knew he was a police officer, I would have been much more less afraid. But panic kind of set in. As you can see, I'm still shaking because I was afraid. I didn't know who he was.
Okay. I understand both sides of this thing, though. Like, Scheffler's sitting there, and he's like, the guy never identified himself as a police officer. And yeah, I'm not going to stop for somebody. And he said, I was looking around looking for an actual police officer. I didn't know who the guy was, or what he was doing.
And also the idea that he drug him. No.
Yeah.
No. He reached into a vehicle without identifying who he was. You do not know. And I before the text line even comes with this, you stop when a cop says stop. No. You stop when an identified cop tells you to stop.
That's a big one.
That you don't stop when somebody tells you to
That
stop
is-
wearing a yellow vest. Shut up.
Yeah.
That level of stupidity, arrogance, and just inscrutable stupidity irks me to the point of 1,000 degrees.
I also understand where this officer wasn't the one that had any of this happen to him. He's the guy that was called in after Scheffler. So he's like, dude, like, we're all wearing the police vest. I understand where he's like, dude, it literally says police right here on this vest. Like, okay. We're there. And he's going off of the word of the dude who was dragged, right? Like, you drag the guy, not supposed to do that. I think the officer that Scheffler's talking to, I think he's being pretty reasonable about it based on
to the point that he's siding with his guy. They will 100%.
But what he knows as well, like what he's going off of, okay, like this is what happened. And mind you, this police officer had no idea who Scottie Scheffler is. No, like the one he's talking to or the guy who was drugged. They have zero idea who it is because remember, Darlington.
So that's 2 idiots in a row.
Darlington was asked, who is that guy? And they're like, you just arrested the #1 golfer in the world.
So first, everybody's like, oh, they had a vest on. Well, then how come the cops who were trained to sit there and watch and analyze and understand things couldn't see the giant gold sticker on the side of the car for a PGA Tour player?
Yeah, right. That is a very good point.
I'm just wondering, for everybody's like, well, he was wearing a vest. Well, he had a freaking badge on the car the size actually bigger than your vest.
I think where the police officer who got air quotes dragged here,
he's getting drugged publicly now.
I think where he is so far out of line, and where obviously the district attorney agrees as well, is that Scheffler was given specific instructions to go down this way. And he did exactly what he was told by a police officer that identified themselves as a police officer earlier. He followed their instructions. This guy wanted to change things, but didn't identify himself as a police officer at any point, apparently. And, oh, by the way, remember what happened, 3 days after? He never activated his body cam footage, which is what he was supposed to do. But here's Scheffler And the police officer once more.
He didn't say police, get out of the car. He just hit me with his flashlight and yelled, get out of the car.
We're wearing a lot of police gear. That surely signifies that we're the
believe
police.
me, if I knew he was a police officer, I would have gotten out of the car. I don't know what to tell you other than I was a little bit panicked trying to get into the golf course, and now I don't know what to do.
Let's go back to the first point, okay? No matter if you thought it was a police officer or not, somebody's... Why are we wearing yellow vests? Why do you think we're wearing yellow vests? So you can see us, right?
Yes.
So you can see us, and if somebody tells you to stop, if it's a traffic guard, security guard, anybody, that means you stop at that time and you don't keep going.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So stuff like this doesn't happen.
Yes.
Because you actually hurting him, and he's a police officer.
Yes.
He's got a huge scrape on his knee. He's getting checked by EMS, big bruise. So I don't know. But for you right now, the main question is if you're going to jail, and it's up to him. I don't know.
Am I able to speak with him?
No.
I love that at the end. No.
It's up to him.
Yeah.
And that right there is the problem, because you had a very subjective party. Which is why the charges are now being dropped.
Yeah, that's 100% correct here. And I love the police officer wants Scottie Scheffler to understand unequivocally that, no matter who it is, you stop for them. Yet at the same time, they don't know who he is, and they don't understand where he is coming from, where if you are a person of the profile of Scottie Scheffler, those situations, you don't just stop your car for anybody, right?
No.
You don't just stop your car for anybody that's like, hey, stop here, stop here. No, because these police officers may not know who Scottie Scheffler is, but a lot of people do. And there's also a lot of people that will go after a millionaire and try to, I don't know, like assault them, or autograph hounds are a big one that professional athletes have to deal with all the time, right? Now, do all autograph hounds wear a reflective vest at 5 o'clock in the morning? No. But for the police officer to automatically want Scottie Scheffler to acknowledge who they are and know who they are in the driving rain at 5 o'clock in the morning, as there's several cars
After
driving.
being told what? By whom?
Exactly where to go. But hold on. As several cars in front of Scheffler had gone in and he was just following them, and then this guy jumps out in front, I'm siding with Scottie Scheffler here on this one. But at the same time, like, I understand where the police officer's going with, hey, man, we're all wearing the exact same thing. You probably should have stopped. Error in judgment. That's why all these charges are getting dropped, because this cop did not do his job appropriately.
No.
By failing to identify himself and then latching onto a moving vehicle that says clearly on the side, PGA Championship courtesy car, and letting other cars through and then just being like, nope, that's the one I'm going to stop.
That's the thing about this, is like, this was a cop that was, and again, they've already done the dump on him. They're done with him as far as his record. Have you read all of the things that he had tagged on him?
No, I haven't.
Oh, buddy, you missed that?
He went full super bad in like 2012.
Oh, buddy, he's got a rap sheet on him for failure to follow rules and guidelines and being suspended. And he's a scumbag.
He got caught doing donuts with someone in the back of his police car.
Blackout drunk.
Wait,
not him.
The person in the car?
Yeah, he got suspended for it, I believe.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, Detective Gillis there.
Yeah.
Shane, first name?
No.
Brian.
But it is something that Shane would probably do in that story right there.
I think it's a skit.
Yeah, this is look.
The charges are dropped here, and I'm wondering if Scheffler's legal camp are going to stop here. I don't think they will.
I bet they will, just because of who he is.
I could be wrong.
It's been really good for him, not bad.
I also could
be honest.
Could be wrong, but I thought I saw that like part of this was that they weren't going to come back. Like he was just done. There was no lawsuit. I could be wrong though. Like I thought I saw that on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't. I bet Scheffler's just like, I just want this to be over, because you know what? Those police officers didn't know who Scottie Scheffler was before. Everybody knows who Scottie Scheffler is now. Like
There's
people
there's
that
also-
don't like sports are like, hey, what was up with that Scottie Scheffler guy? And it's like, yep, this has actually been the best thing for Scottie Scheffler's brand of all time because he got the bad boy boost, but then he still gets the nice guy charges drop. Misunderstanding.
There's
everybody.
also more as it pertains to additional witness. Multiple witnesses reported to ESPN who can be seen in the videos released by LMPD from a dash cam video in a cruiser and a fixed camera from a light pole, refuted allegations that Scheffler's SUV struck or even dragged Gillis. They said there were other eyewitnesses who can't be seen in the video. He was not struck by Scottie's car. He was not drugged by Scottie's car. So however he got torn pants or a scrape on his knee, it didn't have anything to do with Scottie Scheffler.
This guy.
You have an a-hole cop. It's that simple.
Yeah, he was being a hardo.
We knew
for
it
sure.
the second you read the police report.
And
If you've ever read that kind of document, if you've ever read government documentation, you knew right away that they were looking for literally anything to like, all right, let's jazz this thing up a little bit, make it as much as we can, because they didn't know who they were messing with.
And that's the problem is that, like, I don't know, and it gives fuel to everybody that's like, the whole all cops are bad thing.
And that's not true at all.
That's not true at all.
But the ones
these
that are
are
bad,
the things that give
they
them
abuse the hell
fuel,
out of
because
it.
it's like, or what has this guy gotten away with? Everybody is thinking today,
Yeah.
what has this douche gotten away with? And it's probably a lot, because he's been caught for a lot and it hasn't stopped him, right? And so that is where I think this is just all bad in every way, shape, and form. And glad it came to this resolution, though. So, bad boy Scottie Scheffler.
This is where we knew it was going to go. The charges were going to get dropped.
Yeah. Like,
It could have been John freaking Daly, and I still would have been like,
if it was John Daly,
nobody.
If it was John Daly, I'd have been like, I mean, maybe a long night at Hooters. I don't know if he's going to the course or going home for the night.
That's
I
true.
don't know at 5 a.m. what Daly's doing. But Scheffler, it's like, come on. This can't be real. This can't be real.
Violently dumb on all levels.
All right.
And honestly, I'm glad that it was Scheffler, in the sense of, like, now you get to go highlight this.
Profile pretty high on that one, huh?
Great stuff.
Profile is
The F around find out
predictive.
index just absolutely hammered there.
Oh,
Love it. Love it for that guy.
about to find out. You about to find out.
Girl, you something else.
All right.